YouTube, what up? It's your boy, the dude, Intergalactic Brew, here to give you my UFC on Fox. I'd say it's part 3. I mean, technically it's known as part 2, but we've already had like what, 2 UFCs on Fox already. So it's UFC part 3 from Chi-Town, and it's free. 9 in the East, 6 in the West. Y'all already know the deal. And it's gonna be an awesome show, I believe. I mean, we've got a triple header main event that I couldn't think of being put together any type of other way. And I'm pumped. You know? I mean, the UFC has been on it, man. I mean, you know, it's just unbelievable. You know how the UFC has delivered. I think this is like what, 3 straight weeks in a row, just been giving us back to back to back great UFC cards. So this one on Saturday, safe to say, is going to be just as good as the other 2. But without any further ado, let's get down to it. First fight, Demian Maia versus Chris Weidman. Now, of course, everybody knows, obviously, that this is going to be a ground war, because both guys are stellar, world-class grapplers. I mean, both men have won championships in grappling. Of course, we all know Demian Maia is a world champion grappler in jiu-jitsu, and of course Chris Weidman with his national championships in wrestling, All-American Division I standout, you know, all that good stuff. But more importantly, both of these guys have gained tremendous amounts of success in mixed martial arts. Chris Weidman is undefeated. Demian Maia has been on fire lately. It seems like ever since that loss to Anderson Silva, he's really been motivated and driven to polish up more areas in his arsenal. And he's made a very, very conscious effort in doing that. I mean, just look at his fight with Dan Miller to start it all off. You know, that's when we really started to see the change and the evolving of Demian Maia's game. I mean, his striking looks better by the moment. I mean, he's starting to, you know, move his head, move his feet, use combinations, use angles, get in and out. You know, just been looking great with the striking as it improves. And then, you know, we saw more of that against Mark Munoz, where I think he landed like a sneaky right hand and wobbled Munoz, which nobody saw coming, including yours truly. But yeah, that was a welcome sight. And I think his previous fight with Jorge Santiago, we saw a little bit more of it there. So Demian Maia standing up, you know, he's getting there. I don't know if he's you know, ready to stand and exchange with anybody yet, but he's definitely coming along. So whoever he's training with his striking, you know, he needs to keep that up, because if he gets his striking to the point where he starts knocking people out, and then on top of that he's got that deadly jiu-jitsu as well, Demian Maia is going to be a real force in the UFC for years to come. And that might just lead him to being the world champion one day. Please believe. Demian Maia can get there. He can get there. But aside from all that, Chris Weidman is probably going to be the toughest fight for Demian Maia. Number 1, he's going to be taller than Demian Maia. Number 2, he's undefeated. Number 3, he probably might be just as good a grappler as Demian Maia. And number 4, um, you know, he's just so strong. He's a lot stronger than Damian as well. So I think for this fight, as far as Damian Maia is concerned, I think he's going to have to be very smart. I think he's going to have to be opportunistic, and I just think that he's just going to have to let his experience take over in this fight. Whether it be striking or whether it be grappling. I mean, we know Damian Maia is a master on the mat, but I think I say this fight is gonna potentially be a ground war, but I could see this fight staying stood up for a little bit, and with that improved boxing slash kickboxing of Maia, like I said, he's gonna have to be really smart with how he chooses to close the distance on Weidman, because Weidman, his striking may not be up to the par of elite level, but it's solid enough for him to get by and to set up his takedowns. So Damian Maia has to be very conscious of that. I'm sure he has. I'm sure he's watched enough footage on Weidman to know where he can't go and where he can go. So I think Damian Maia, if the fight is stood up for a while, I think he's going to have to, get in and out with the combinations. He cannot stay in the pocket with Chris Weidman. He's going to have to use a lot of leg kicks and mix things up, to kind of throw this young man off, and eventually look to either pull guard or go for a real takedown and try to keep Chris Weidman grounded without either getting swept or having Chris Weidman get any type of position in the mount. So if Damian Maia can just like I said, be smart and look for his openings, I think there's no reason why he shouldn't win this fight. Now, on the other hand, with Chris Weidman, I think Chris Weidman needs to get this fight to the ground. I think he needs to make this a ground war. If Chris Weidman can make this a ground war, I think this will be a very interesting fight. And I think Chris Weidman will have an unbelievable chance of winning this fight. But then again, with Damian Maia, he's just, like I said, a master in jiu-jitsu and everything. And I was listening to the interview with Damian Maia just a few minutes ago on MMAfighting.com, and he was saying how Chris Weidman always looked forward to fighting Damian Maia. And I don't know if he said that out of respect, or I don't know if he really meant that. But if he really meant that, I don't really think that's the best move, especially when you're talking about grappling. I mean, this guy submitted Gabriel Gonzaga, for crying out loud. I mean, a man that's taller than him and is probably like 5-6 pounds heavier than him. So, I mean, if he's submitting giants like that, what makes you think Chris Weidman's going to be any exception? So, I don't know what Chris Weidman was thinking. He was probably saying it out of respect, but really, Chris Weidman, he doesn't really want to, get caught in Damian Maia's guard. He doesn't want to play that game, because, like I said, Damian Maia is a world champion grappler, and he knows all the different sweeps and transitions and all that good stuff. So if Chris Weidman's gonna win this fight, he better not try to match Damian's jiu-jitsu. He better try to out-wrestle this guy and take him down, get on top of him, beat him up, and either look to get in a half guard or side control, and possibly get a submission from there. As far as standing up goes, I mean, like I said, Weidman's got some decent hands, but I don't think he'll be able to match Damian Maia's hands. I think Damian Maia's the better striker. I think he's the better all-around fighter. Now, of course, I think Chris Weidman is the better wrestler, and I think that's the best chance he has of winning this fight if he tries to out wrestle Maya while still looking for a submission. So yeah. Um, but as far as my prediction, um, I originally picked Chris Weidman to upset Damian Maya, but you know what? I mean, it's my prediction. I can do what I want. I'm going to make a change. That's right. For the first time on a UFC prediction video, I'm going to make a change. And my buddy Kurt is probably going to be mad at me. I don't care. But, yeah, I'm going to make a change. I'm going to go with Damian Maya in this fight. I originally picked Chris Weidman, but I just don't think that Weidman is ready, you know, especially on the ground for somebody like Damian Maya. I mean, Damian Maya has fought against big wrestlers before, you know, aka Mark Munoz recently, and Mario Miranda last year. So Damian Maya is used to fighting big, strong, tall wrestlers. Now, like I said, Wyman does have a chance. If he does win this fight, no surprise. You know, because like I said, he can out wrestle Damian Maya. I mean, you know, because Damian Maya's wrestling, it's not up to par yet. I mean, it's getting there. He's got good wrestling, but if you know, if anybody can out wrestle Damian Maya, it's you know, Chris Weidman. So I mean, and of course, you know, you got Mark Munoz too. So you know, you got high level wrestlers, and then of course they can out wrestle, you know, a jiu-jitsu guy. But yeah, that's the only way I could see Chris Weidman winning this fight, is really grinding it out, or possibly getting in the mount, getting on top, and looking for a submission. Or if he just so happens to catch Damian Maya, which I highly doubt, but I don't know, anything could happen. But if Chris Weidman can somehow catch Damian Maya and bait him into something, and maybe get like a Darce choke, or maybe like an arm bar, then yeah, we could see a huge upset. But for some reason, I just don't see it happening. I like Chris Weidman, but I think he's gonna fall here, you know, and I think his win streak is gonna come to a close. So I'm picking Damian Maya by submission. So there you go. All right, next fight is a fight that I know a lot of Anderson Silva fans are looking forward to, and you know, I know there's other people out there that are looking forward to this fight simply because number one, Chael Sonnen is in it, and number two, everybody wants to see Chael Sonnen lose. Why? Because they know that he is the only man that is capable of beating Anderson Silva. No disrespect to Michael Bisping. So of course, you already know the co-main event, Damian Maya versus Michael the Count Bisping. Originally, Chael Sonnen was supposed to fight Mark Munoz, which I would have picked him to win because I think Chael is a better wrestler, and you know, I just think that you know, I just think the pressure that Chael brings in a fight would have been too much for Munoz to handle. So there you go. But yeah, everybody is looking forward to this fight, like I said, simply because they don't want to see Chael Sonnen get another shot at their precious, beloved Anderson the Spider Silva, because they know Chael will indeed take that belt, and I still believe he will take the belt. But anyway, let's talk about this fight. Basically, we know what Chael's gonna do. We know he's gonna press the fight. We know he's gonna try to take Bisping down and just basically harass him, assault him with ground and pound and elbows, and try to look for submissions. I mean, basically, he's going to try to test Bisping's conditioning, try to wear him out, and we all know Bisping and conditioning have not mixed over the years. I mean, we've seen it before, and we saw it recently in his last fight as well. So, you know, that's not a good thing for Michael Bisping. So I hope, for Michael Bisping's sake, I hope that he is in shape. But yeah, Michael Bisping, you know, definitely is going to have to, you know, match Chael's pace. Because like I said, Chael's going to be in front of him the whole time. He's not going to back up. He's going to come forward. He's going to try to put him up against that cage. And he's going to try to take him down repeatedly. And like I said, just assault him. Now, Michael Bisping, to his credit, is pretty fast himself. You know, he's got decent head movement and footwork. His punches don't have a lot of power and a lot of oomph behind them. But, like Nick Diaz, or the Diaz brothers in general, his punches are effective. The more momentum he gets, the more they hurt. So, maybe we could see that. Maybe we could see, you know, Michael Bisping try to come out from the start and try to, you know, pour it on Chael early, which could happen. You know, I'm not, you know, dumb. I know that Michael Bisping is a smart, intelligent fighter as well, you know, and I know that he can beat Chael Sonnen, but I know Chael can beat him. You know, it's a win-win, you know, matchup here. I mean, either one of these guys can take it. But yeah, Bisping is definitely want to come to come out to try and finish Chael Sonnen, be one of the first guys to really knock him out, you know, which I highly doubt, but you know, anything can happen, you know, you never know. But yeah, I think that Michael Bisping probably will look to use leg kicks in this fight also, and mix things up and try to keep Chael guessing, although that still will leave him vulnerable to takedowns. So I don't know how he plans to you know, hurt Chael on the feet, but who knows who knows what Michael Bisping will do, you know, who knows. But yeah, he's gonna have to find a way to stop Chael's takedowns, and you know, not let that pressure of Chael get to him. And you know, he's gonna have to find a way to catch Chael, you know, and rock him, because I think that's the only way he wins this fight, is if he catches Chael, you know, when he doesn't see it coming, you know. But yeah, it's basically gonna come down to who can handle whose pressure the best, pretty much, you know. And you know, we've seen in the past with Michael Bisping, you know, he's when he's had a lot of pressure put on him, especially by guys who are, you know, fast-paced fighters, you know, he hasn't done too well, you know. But if Michael Bisping can slow the fight down and, you know, methodically, you know, look for openings and try to attack Chael like that, then he could win the fight. But for the most part, I just see the pressure being too great for Bisping, and I see Chael taking him down repeatedly, if not, you know, putting him away in the first round, you know, either, you know, by ground and pound or by a submission. But I just see Chael taking him down and just beating him up. And I think Chael will end the fight early. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if the fight went the decision, because I mean, Chael can go for 3 to 5 rounds, so that doesn't matter. But ultimately, Chael's gonna win this fight, and I probably say I'll be bold here. I'm gonna go with Chael by submission. I say I say he can submit Bisping. If not, it'll be a decision. So there you go. I'm going with Sonnen, but like I said, Michael Bisping has the best chance in the world to beat this man. But, you know, number one, the reason why I don't see Michael Bisping winning this fight, because if he fights Anderson, I'm sorry, but Michael Bisping is going to get outclassed. I'm sorry. I mean, you know, I know there's going to be, you know, a lot of people that are going to, you know, give me hell on this video. I don't care. You know, you could hate on me because I'm a Chael Sonnen fan. I don't care. Whatever. But I'm just telling you how I see it. So deal with it. And then, of course, last but not least, we have the main event of the evening. Rashad Evans versus Phil Davis. #1 contenders fight for a shot at the UFC light heavyweight title. I know Dan Henderson, for one, is hoping Phil Davis wins this fight so he can get his well-deserved shot at John Jones. But of course, Rashad will have something to say about that. Basically, what I see happening in this fight is basically Phil Davis wanting to take Rashad Evans down. I mean, he's not gonna stand up with this guy. He's gonna try to take him down, and he's gonna try to submit him. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. But at the same time, I just think Rashad is gonna be a little bit too fast and too explosive for Phil Davis. I think, you know, Rashad's striking is gonna be on point. You know, like I think his quickness, you know, is going to frustrate Phil Davis. I think he's going to be able to stuff Phil Davis's takedowns. You know, I mean, he could possibly catch Rashad, you know, and just explode in and maybe take him down for a little while. But I think Rashad can get up. Yeah, I just think Phil Davis is gonna try to out wrestle Rashad. You know, it's no secret here. Phil Davis, you know, is up here talking in the press conferences and the interviews like he's got some big spectacular game plan. I don't see nothing new coming from this guy. I mean, you know, this guy is, in my opinion, a one-dimensional wrestler who looks to take the fight down and just looks to grind his opponents out. I mean, we saw it in the Nogueira fight, you know. So, yeah, I think Phil is going to try to just, you know, grind Rashad out, and possibly he could possibly submit Rashad. I'll say that he could possibly submit Rashad, because I've never really seen Rashad on his back like that, and I really don't know how his jiu-jitsu is, you know. But I mean, if Phil Davis can you know, get on top, you know, I think he could possibly submit Rashad, because Phil Davis has some good jiu-jitsu. I will say that. Rashad, I don't know, maybe not so much, but Rashad definitely is going to want to look to knock this guy out, if not take him down himself and do damage. But basically, this is I think this is going to go the distance for some reason. I was going to pick Rashad Evans by TKO, but I think this is going to go the distance, because Phil Davis is just going to be relentless trying to take Rashad down, and you know, like I said, just ride him and trying to look for that submission. It'll be interesting to see how good Rashad's guard is if Phil Davis does get on top of him. But you know, we'll see. But it's gonna be it's gonna be a hard fought fight. But I can see Rashad coming out on the winning end when it's all said and done. You know, I just think he'll be able to I think he'll be able to scramble and get back to his feet for some reason. Then again, I don't know. And then, you know, if the fight stays standing up, which I believe it will at some points in that fight, I could just see Rashad outstriking Phil Davis and wobbling him, if not knocking him out. And I could see him winning a close split decision. So I'm going to go with Rashad Evans. So there you go. Those are my predictions. You know, I hope you all comment and share your thoughts, especially about the Bisping Chael fight. I know it's a lot of people that's probably going to come on here and say, oh, there you go again, rooting for Chael Sonnen. But anyway, whatever. I'm done. Y'all enjoy the fight Saturday, and catch you on the next video. Peace out.